Right, muri Zimbabwe kune chishamiso chakaitika nezuro muPolitBuro meeting uko kwakange kuna vaEmerson Mnangagwa pamwe chete vaMuhadhi navaChiwenga. Nyaya iripo ndeyekuti vaMnangagwa varadza pachena kuti ivo mwoyo wavo havachafariri deputy wavo Chiwenga sezvo pane makakatanwa akasiyana siyana. Pane power struggle iri mubato reZANU-PF. Mamiriro azvakaita muri Zimbabwe ndeyekudai. So nezuro pane video rakasirculate kusvika nanhasi rairatidza vaMnangagwa pamwe chete naVP Chiwenga naMuhadhi vari muCentral Committee meeting mavakange vari apo patakaona vaMnangagwa vachitaura kuti vari kuda mvura kuna vaChiwenga ndokubva vatora bhodhoro remvura ndokuvhura ndokuisa glazi kuti vaise mvura mukapu. Asi paitwa izvozvo vaMuhadhi zvekare vakabva vavhura rimwe bhodhoro ndokubva vapa vaMnangagwa ndokubva vatambira bhodhoro ra Muhadhi. Saka nyaya iyo iri kunetsa kuti alright, mvura yavakaramba iyi yaChiwenga yange nemushonga here kana kuti yange isina. So nyaya iyo yanetsa mastreets esocial media yanetsa because panapa iri kuya ichiti drama at Politburo meeting, ED rejected water from VP Chiwenga and opted to drink one from Muhadhi. VP Chiwenga was the first to pick the bottle of water. Why did Muhadhi open his own while Chiwenga was in processing of serving ED makwikwi? So ndo zvinhu zvakaitika. Tisingakupedzerei nguva tichakusiyai makateerera kubva kumakomrades edu pano pachivhitivhiti.
Is underpin kuti vatizvo the bill began by quoting section 88. Let me go to the bill. So the bill began by where did I put it? Yes. No. It began by quoting, section, section, 88. So in quoting, that section, what, they simply, said was they saying section 88, which speaks about the executive authority, saying what it is, it comes from the people and it is exercised by the president. And then section 117, the legislative authority comes from the people and is exercised by parliament. So in layman terms, that bill is acknowledging that they know power comes from the people, they know the president exercises executive authority, they know parliament exercises the legislative power. And now Parliament, what they're about to do, right now, is to use their legislative power to change the constitution. And that is a political foundation to this bill, which they're trying to build and try to frame it in the way that they are explaining it, to their people. So in that bill, it does not talk about section, 328. It focuses on section 88 and section 117. And given what this thing is talking about, when they are quoting section 88 and quoting section 117, there's an impression that they are creating, they are trying to create, and that impression, it is already there out there, ladies and gentlemen, that parliament already has all the authority it needs from the people. That is one impression that they are making. So there's a political framing, there's a strategy to their madness. So they deliberately quoted section 88, deliberately quoted section 117. 88 deals with the executive authority, 117 deals with the legislative authority. But what they are telling you, the impression that they are trying to make here, they're trying to create, is that Parliament itself is saying, Kuti, it already has the authority it needs from the people. Therefore, Parliament can amend whatever it wants without going to the people. So this is, the impression. And this is the impression that Nkoma Brian is saying, Kuti, it does not hold. Because what we have, in Zimbabwe is, okay, this parliament is purporting to be saying that they want to be acting on behalf of the people because the constitution says their authority, comes from the people. So therefore they can amend, this constitution. But that is not true in terms of the amendment that they want to make. Because the amendment that they want to make, the one that speaks to the extending the length of time, they want to touch on an executive power. Parliament has legislative authority. Parliament does not have executive authority. So you cannot have this one determining what is going to happen to this one because the source of the power is not being consulted here. The source of the power is the people. So Parliament cannot give executive authority to anyone. This is what precisely they are trying to say. But we are already acting on behalf of you guys. As per the constitution, and the constitution gives us, says our authority, comes from you people. But the authority that we are giving them is not to extend or to give executive power to anyone or to redefine the executive power. That is not the power that they are being given. We've got the doctrine of separation of powers. Parliament, dare reparamende harikwanise kunotanangira dare reofisi hombe yeutungamiri hwenyika, nokuti zvinhu zvakasiyana, mabranches akasiyana, ndosaka achivhoterwa pakasiyana. Kuti paballot, even though riri ballot paper 1, asi in fact ndinenge siri 1, iri 1 election, maballot papers unopiwa ni matatu handiti, unopiwa rapresident, unopiwa reparliament, unopiwa ninge rakansela. Saka what they are trying to do, it can't. Parliament cannot use the legislative authority to change the source of executive authority. Because the executive authority, the source of its power is derived from the people, it comes from the people, even though it is vested in the president. Vanongonzi batai neapa muite zvinoenderana nebumbiro renhingi remutemo. Tongai nyika zvinoenderana, takukupai mvumo yekutonga nyika, but tongai zvinoenderana nebumbiro remutemo. Parliament, takukupai simba rekugadzira mutemo nekuchinja mutemo mukati menyika zvinoenderana nebumbiro remutemo wedu. Saka kana bumbiro remutemo wedu riri kutaura kuti simba rapresident rinobva muvanhu, simba reparliament rinobva muvanhu, but handisi kutaura kuti izvo simba iri rinokwanisa kungoshandiswa kana kuti izvo parliament parliament inokwanisa kuoccupya simba revanhu kuti vachinje utungamiri hwenyika yeZimbabwe. That is, the argument. I don't know if I'm making it clear, right there. I'm trying to fit into Mkoma's brain mindset and explain this in a way kuti tinonzwisisa. Because this is another avenue challenge. If you want to challenge this madness, this right here is another avenue. Because what is about to be happening with this amendment is the changing of the foundational structure of the constitution of Zimbabwe, how the president, is chosen. They want to change that. But that power, to choose a president, or the power that is invested, that invested in that president, it does not come from parliament. It comes from the people of Zimbabwe. So parliament is overreaching. And then it makes everything that they want to do hogwash. So there's a lot, that is riding, on this thing. There's a lot that can be used to discredit, this thing. And it's high time that we see serious action being taken. Because you see, one thing, that, ZANU-PF, is doing, I don't know. They're going to the people. Yes, they are using, they are taking advantage. They are using, their, proximity to, to those that, police us. and they're doing whatever it is that they want to do. You are seeing every day they're going out there vachisangana nevanhu vachiita sei vaita sei, but the other side is not being allowed to do that. The other side ndorongonza endai nenge kumapurisa munotora nepermission. Ko iyo ZANU PF yacho pane pairomborambidzwa here? Pane pamamboona here MP weZANU PF achiuya achikomplaina kuti akomana ini ndanyimwa unzizvo nenge ndidai? And then inini also now I start to then question. Vamwe takawaona vachiti aiwa handikwanisi kutaura zvatokwanisa kutaura kana tisina kuenda nenge kune vanhu. Aiwa tamirira kuti bhiri rachiri bude tobva taenda kunoita maconsultation nevanhu vedu. Asi maconsultation acho ari kuitwa here nenge in secret? Vamwe vari kuita pajekerere asi maakuita in secret here? That's because muri kuziva kuti zvanenge maangorambidzwa kungoungana. Because right now I am expecting to see a flood of activities, especially kune ma-opposition legislators acho atina wacho. Ndakaona Johanna Mamombe ari kwake kuHarare West agara nine vanhu basi. Ndakaona uyu akarambidzwa uyu chikomana chekwashangira ichi chepanhinotona apa chakarambidzwa. But so far handisati ndaona nenge vakati but vanhu ava nenge vakawandisa vokuti vanokwanisa kutondopinda mumaconstituencies avo. Tomboti tombokanganwa zvimwe zvese izvi tombosiya. But you see, the point that I am trying to say is ZANU PF is taking a message yekuti chinhu ichi ndechenyu ichi chinhu ichi, but makatipa simba ndigire kumhanya chinhu ichi. Saka isusu tako kumhanyirai chinhu ichi on your behalf. You don't have to worry, we got you. But this is what we are saying kuti izvo, and equally a same message must also go out there. Right. Same message, must also go out there. Explain some of these things, that we are talking about here. Because there's a lot, to unpack. There's a lot that is riding, on this. There's a lot, to unpack. And we need to be in a position to be talking about, these things, to hammer these things home, to get our people, to understand. Right. I'm hoping, I don't know. Thanks that, for this. There's been a memo which is out there which says that the Deputy President of the Senate informed the House that all members of Parliament were invited to attend a half-day workshop on Thursday, 26 March, which is tomorrow, 2026 at 0900 hours in the multi-purpose hall. The purpose of the workshop is to unpack the Constitution of Zimbabwe Amendment Number 3 Bill and the Convention on establishing the International Organization for Mediation. The process, is going. The purpose of the workshop is to unpack the Constitution of Zimbabwe Amendment Number 3 Bill. Let's see what comes out of there. But the most important thing that we need now to be dealing with, because if we are going to be resisting, this thing, because Chadoshika Chinich, there's a day, that I said, Guti, I mean, this amendment is coming.